We have reached our last segment talking about the importance of brand valuation in business, and we're going to have another view from Mr. Samir Dixit. He's the Managing Director of Brand Finance Asia Pacific. To conclude his view toward our topic before we sum up this conversation, Mr. Samir Dixit, tell us about Brand Finance Asia Pacific.
Well, we are the global market leaders, and we are the only independent valuation firm. When I say independent, because we're not aligned to any group, we have offices in over 20 countries around the world, and in Asia Pacific, Singapore is the hub. We service the whole market: Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and the whole region out of Singapore. We are about 11 years old in the market. Brand Finance also releases the top 100 brand rankings by country in these markets. So we release the top 100 Singapore brand rankings by value. We release the top 100 Malaysian brand ranking, and very soon we will be launching the top 100 Indonesian brand rankings in Indonesia with one of our publication partners.
Seems like you have a lot of positivity and optimistic outlook toward the presence of brand finance. Speaking about the presence of this kind of valuation firms, how competitive actually the competition climate in this area of working, because we talk about the ASEAN market?
I think the competition comes from what the kind of services that you offer, and when we look at the kind of services that we do offer at a global scale, we do not think there is any true competition that we have in the market, for one very simple reason. There are companies that are doing pure technical valuation, there are companies that are doing pure strategy, there are companies that are doing pure analytics. There are very few companies that actually bring everything together, the valuation, the strategy, and the analytics, and the consumer behavior, and everything together. And I think that's what really makes us unique, and that's as much our strength, that we have skill set which is a combined skill set of marketing, of research, of accounting, of analysis and strategy. So that's why it's not that we don't have any competition, but I think they're small and they're more segmented, and there is no one that really covers the full spectrum of services the way we do.
Why should a corporate have this kind of independent valuation firms at the first place? Cannot we rely on the internal corporate brand valuation, that we need the independent, neutral one here?
Well, if you're using for a technical purpose, it has to be done at an arm's length externally. So much so that even if you have an auditor, that is an accounting firm, they are technically they're qualified to do a valuation, a technical valuation, but it has to be done at an arm's length by a third party for it to be acceptable to some of the technical authorities, whether it's tax authorities, the local authorities, or even to the auditors. You cannot audit something that you've done yourself fundamentally, because that's then there's a question mark on the degree of independence that you've had while doing so. So that's why it has to be done externally by that.
Makes sense, right?
Yes.
Indonesia, tell us about the brand finance in Indonesia.
Well, it took us a long time to get into Indonesia, considering that we were right next door. We probably should have got in earlier, but I think one of the fundamental things that we look at is, and as I was explaining earlier, there is a very important and strategic role for having customer behavior and understanding of the market, without which we personally don't believe that a valuation can be a very successful product. And so in that sense, we were waiting, and we partnered with WIR in Indonesia, and we found that they have all the right skill sets to complement to the consumer behavior and the marketing aspect of it, and that's what took us so long.
All right, Mr. Samir Dixit, the Managing Director of Brand Finance Asia Pacific, thank you so much for the sharing knowledge for this Indonesia. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.